2NURFM News for our sponsor Cartier Jewellery, Toronto Town Square and the Esplanade, Warners Bay.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Georgia Cowan with 2NURFM Hunter News. Mount Owen's coal mine plan to cut nearly 70 jobs has been criticised by the Mine Workers Union. Mount Owen, owned by Glencore but operated by Thiess, has indicated the cuts need to be made in order to reduce production. However, the union believes most of the production cut could be met by operating the mine for 6 days a week rather than sacking workers. CFMEU President Peter Jordan says there's unlikely to be many volunteers for redundancy.
Our intelligence off the job is telling us that they'd be lucky to get half a dozen employees, and that is based on the fact that there were rounds of redundancies in the 2 previous years. So obviously people's circumstances of applying for voluntary redundancy has been well and truly exhausted.
Lake Macquarie residents are invited to attend Spears Point Park this Sunday to commemorate the 100th anniversary of World War I for Anzac Day. The event will feature aerial displays, military vehicle displays, an Andrews Sisters tribute band, live entertainment and more. Mayor Jody Harrison says everyone is welcome to come and take part in the service.
There'll be a formal ceremony and people will be asked to join in by selecting a sprig of rosemary that's had a tag attached to it bearing the name of somebody who fought overseas during that event, and people will be able to put that into a rosemary garden so that we can see the number of lives that were directly affected at that time back in 1915.
Cessnock Council is welcoming a dedicated resource to combat the growing problem of illegal dumping. The Regional Illegal Dumping Squad, specialising in dealing with landfilling and contaminated waste issues, has already seen success as they continue to carry out operations throughout the area. EPA-funded squads use a strategic, coordinated approach to prevent illegal dumping and focus on the particular issues within their region. The Hunter's busiest hospitals are again in the spotlight following the release of the Australian Medical Association's latest public hospital report card. With the John Hunter failing to meet its target of having 90% of patients treated within 4 hours and only achieving 61%, the AMA is warning the impacts of funding cuts will further worsen waiting times. Wallsend MP Sonia Hornery says the Minister of Health needs to explain to the people of the Hunter why she has allowed local hospitals to go backwards.
We're looking at an issue too where our waiting times for ear, nose and throat surgery has doubled since the last year, blowing out from 42 days to 84 days. It's just unacceptable. People are waiting too long to get surgery here in New South Wales, and it needs to be improved.
GP Dr. Fiona Van Leeuwen has developed a care model in the Hunter for patients at high risk of recurrent hospital admissions. The program currently focuses on patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and plans to expand research into other chronic groups. Dr. Sarah Doughton from the Clinical Excellence Commission says the program brings together emerging leaders passionate about patient safety and health.
By engaging general practitioners with our Clinical Excellence Commission programs, we've finally got all the stakeholders in the room working together at making things better.
Maitland is gearing up for this year's Hunter Valley Steam Fest, which kicks off tomorrow. There will be a range of steam excursions on offer, including trips to Branxton, Dungog and Broadmeadow, as well as a run through the Port Waratah coal loop. Council's event coordinator Adam Franks says the event always appeals to people from far and wide.
Brings people from right around the Hunter Valley, but also from interstate and from overseas as well. We always get visitors from overseas. It's just such a really popular event, and I suppose the only event of its kind in this region.
In finance, the All Odds is down 42.7 points at 58.75, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 77.75 US cents.
Sport for our sponsor, NewcastleCheapestCars.com.au.
The Newcastle Knights seem to be taking an unchanged side for Sunday's match, despite shoulder injuries suffered by Jared Mullen and Tarek Sims last week. The Red and Blue are hoping to bounce back from consecutive losses against the Dragons and Sharks when they take on the Parramatta Eels at Hunter Stadium. Utility Sione Matautia says they've been training hard in the lead-up to the game.
You know, the quality of the session is always important to us, especially when the whole squad's here. You know, in the New South Wales Cup, it benefits everyone when there's a quality session. So, you know, that everyone's sort of there to prove a point, and they know that, you know, not everyone's been performing. So we've got to tails up and head down and work hard.
The Newcastle Jets are hoping to bring home a win in their clash against Sydney FC at Hunter Stadium tonight. After their upset win over competition leaders Melbourne Victory last week, the squad are hoping to end the season on a positive note for their fans. And in local soccer, the Maitland Magpies are set to host Broadmeadow Magic this Sunday in their first home game of the season. That's sport. I'm Thandi Shindoe.
2NURFM News Time is 1:05.